It's another delicious day here in the Let's Make Food from Food Kitchen, and today we're gonna get healthy, delicious cake. It's got zucchini in it. I'm making a chocolate zucchini cake, and it's got 3 cups of zucchini in there and some eggs and flour, so I mean, that's right. Let's just dive right into it. I have 2 cups of flour. I wanna pour that in here. And then I have baking soda and baking powder and some pink Himalayan salt. You could also use sea salt, it's fine. This is Dutch process cocoa powder. So what's the difference between cocoa powder and Dutch process? Dutch process makes it a little bit richer. You're gonna get a little bolder color and a little bolder flavor. So if you can find it, I recommend that. This is the Ghirardelli brand. I really like them for this. Okay, and we're just gonna blend these dry ingredients together. Keep thinking I'm gonna find some white flour, but it just really takes over. Okay, it really does give a better chocolate flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside, and then I need my mixer bowl, and in that I am going to put, this is coconut oil. It was solid and I just melted a little bit. Okay, and I'm just gonna let that drip for a second. Switch these over. While I'm holding on to that, I'm gonna bust my egg yolks and whisk it up just a little bit. Just give it a little tiny bit of assistance. Not that it really needs it. Okay, so that's going in here with the coconut oil. And then I have 1 cup of cane sugar. I don't like to use the white sugar. This is 1 cup light, this is 3/4 cup packed light brown sugar. I just didn't want it to splash, so I put it in my hand. Okay. This is 1 tablespoon of my homemade vanilla extract. This is the rum vanilla extract. I will put a link down below on how to make that if you're interested. Then I have some sour cream. You can use sour cream or you can use plain yogurt, plain Greek yogurt, just as long as it's one of those. I'll probably use buttermilk, but it's not as thick. I haven't done it. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I haven't done it with buttermilk, so if you want to try it, let me know how it turns out. So the last thing I need to add is all of my zucchini. Yep, right on in here. Okay, and I shredded this zucchini. And then blotted it dry. You don't need to squeeze all the water out, just blot it a little bit, okay? And then I'm gonna stick it in here, and I don't need to overmix it. I just need to really combine it well. Okay, so I've locked that, and I'm gonna turn it on for a minute. Once that looks like it's really well mixed, I'm gonna unlock this, lift it up, and I'm gonna add in my dry mixture. Just all of it right on in there. Okay, and we don't, again, we're not over mixing this. We just wanna combine it so that there's nothing left dry. And it should be kind of thick. Ooh, and messy. Okay, now what I wanna do is lift this back up and scrape the sides because of all of that stuff. I forget. So in my personal kitchen, I have the bigger size, and I forget that this one, if you have a high amount, that you need to really just kind of stir it in a little bit. Otherwise you get that poof where everything just kind of fluffs out for a second. So I'm scraping it down to include that in there. I'm just gonna hit that mix one more time. Okay, I'm gonna lift this up and take this off. I just got chocolate on my hands. I guess I'm not too sad about that. Take this off. All right, I have, did I already tell you I have my oven preheated? I don't know. My oven's preheated to 350. I have 2 of the 9-inch round pans, and this is parchment paper on the bottom, and then I've sprayed the sides with olive oil so that it doesn't stick. If you can do that parchment paper step, I know it can be a little bit of a pain. I just take the bottom of the pan, set it on the parchment paper, draw around it, and cut it down so that it fits. But really, to get that cake out without any sticking, it's the best way I've found to do it. So that's why I do it. Okay, so we're gonna fill these evenly. Trying to scrape all that goodness out of there. Okay, we're gonna stick these in the oven, 350 degrees, 25 to 30 minutes. I find it's usually closer to that 30-minute mark, but depending on your oven, go ahead and check it. Once you can stick a toothpick in the center and it comes out clean, then it is done. Pull them out, let them cool about 5 minutes, then set them on a rack like this one. Set them on a cooling rack. Can you see this? Set them on a cooling rack. Let them completely cool before we frost or ice them. I have a delicious cream cheese frosting we're gonna use, and I will put a link down below to that recipe so you can make that while these are cooling. And we're back. I have completely cooled cakes. I have some cream cheese frosting, link below for that recipe. It was the last video I made if you watched it. I have a cake round. I got this at Joann Fabrics, actually had these, and some other tools of choice. So if you're like me, you're not really a cake decorator, and I don't know how flat this is gonna be if I do it like this. That might be okay. So I know that you can cut the top to make it flat on whichever side you're gonna ice. But what I wanna do first is take just a little dab of frosting and I'm gonna put it on the board. And the reason I do that is so it doesn't slide around. And I know you can make this one flat too. Cake decorators, have some grace for me. Totally not a cake decorator, okay? I am then going to go ahead and flatten this one out some, so that when I ice it, it's not like really mounded on top, and that's why I do it, okay? And then you have this delicious sampler. This delicious sampler. That's so good. If someone didn't tell me, I would not know that there is zucchini in this. I wouldn't know. I would be totally surprised. Okay, so what I wanna do is take some for the middle. I'm gonna take some for a piping bag. I just recently started learning how to actually do the piping. That's probably not the best way to put this in here, but when my daughter had her birthday, she really wanted a Mario Princess Peach cake. Well, that wasn't a thing. I couldn't find one. So for her main party, I ordered a cake and put pieces on it, but then for the family stuff, I actually made the cake and practiced piping, and it's still not pretty. It's still not, you know, look, a professional did this level, but I did pretty darn good. Okay, I'm gonna take this. I have one of those cake spreaders at home in my kitchen that it's longer and just flat to do this task with. Okay, layer one, not the worst. I'm just gonna stick that right on top and see, now it's flat. And here we go again. This one I want to look a little better. But I feel like icing that bottom layer worked better for me this time than not doing it that way. That's the first time I've done it that way. I'm trying really hard not to get the crumbs into the icing because it takes away that clean look. Okay, now what I want to do, I still have this top. I already took a bite out of it. Okay, so I am going to make a little extra treat for the kids. And yes, I'll cut off the bite that I took. Okay, and just make a little extra, because you don't want to waste this, right? Just like that. Now my kids have a little extra treat. And now that it has icing on it. There can't be any vegetables in here. Not at all. I'm not even going to tell my kids there's zucchini in it. I'm just going to let them eat it and then tell them. Delicious. Thanks for joining me here today in the Let's Make Food from Food kitchen. From my kitchen to yours, let's make food from food.
That's one boy.